What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the final episode of Worth My Money, a YouTube series that we started about a month ago, leading up to the draft, where I covered my top 9 quarterbacks pre-draft, as well as a preview video at the beginning, talking about, how we look at guys when we're talking about investing in their sports cards. You can see a link to that video right up here. We value each of those pieces very highly: sports market, fan base, our experience, and then the pre-rankings for next year are the power rankings. Those played out very strong in the draft for the card world. I think this quarterback class, this draft class in general, is going to be a very strong class for football cards. And I'm excited for that. I'm a football guy. I love investing in quarterbacks, so there's a lot to be excited about on my end, on anybody's end that is looking to collect or invest in football cards for 2021. I've kind of waited a little longer than I wanted to make this video. I was kind of waiting to see how a couple things played out. Aaron Rodgers is still in Green Bay at the moment. Next week on June 1st, there's going to be a whole lot of crazy stuff happening in the NFL. That's probably going to make some of what I'm about to go through change, right? And so I wanted to get this video in before that, but I'm excited about it. No doubt. I was also kind of waiting to see if there was any stability in the card market around this new class. There's been a couple products that have came out. Score came out a couple weeks ago. Legacy came out this week. As I'm shooting this video right now, it's May 27th. So Contenders Draft Picks comes out tomorrow. That's what I've been most excited about. I think Andy and I are going to be ripping a case. So make sure you follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, turn the alerts on, because that's going to be a whole lot of fun when we do that, chasing some of these quarterback autographs. But yeah, so right now, Score is the only thing that has had, a consistent amount of autographs flow through on eBay. And so we've kind of, tracked some of that, and we can tell you kind of where these guys are selling at right now. So when I go through this list on guys that are worth my money in their different situations, I'm going to start at the top for the best-selling Score autographs. Now, I must say, I do not look at Score autographs as a good investment. So don't hear this and say, I'm going to run off and buy the Score autograph. Wait for Contenders Draft Picks, wait for Prism Draft Picks, wait for stuff in their NFL uniform, in my opinion. To no surprise, the top-selling base Score autograph quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. His base Score autographs, I think the last ones are going for like $550 to $600 just for that base Score autograph. It's crazy to me. He's so exciting, man. He's every bit as good of a prospect as the guys that they throw around, Peyton Manning, John Elway, Andrew Luck, all those guys. He fits that category. He's excited to play for Jacksonville. There's just a lot of good things going on. Now, I wouldn't put Jacksonville's market in, that top tier. If you go back and watch that first video we talked about, I don't remember seeing them on any of those numbers or any of those lists. And, so, it's interesting to see how well they've welcomed him in, and how the Duval faithful is jumping on the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon. Like I said, his cards are doing extremely good. One thing I'll say about Trevor Lawrence cards is we need to look at Trevor Lawrence autographs as an investment. Don't look at it as I buy now and sell for a whole bunch more once season gets here. Don't do that. I say that because there's a huge reason why the Jaguars were the first overall pick. They lost 15 games in a row. They're currently on a 15-game losing streak. The Jaguars were really bad last year, and I know they've made a lot of great free agency moves. They drafted Trevor Lawrence. They got him some help. So they're going to be better. No doubt the Jaguars are going to be better. But in terms of like going and making the playoff run or getting the most out of Trevor Lawrence, like we need to temper expectations. Let's let him have some growing pains. Let's not panic if he has a bad game. Look at your Trevor Lawrence autos as an investment over time, because I do think he's one of those players that can take a team from terrible to great. But it's not going to happen in one calendar year from being drafted. So, I'm excited. Trevor Lawrence, he's the man. Every reason to invest in Trevor Lawrence is there. The second one I have here is Justin Fields. He's actually has, out of these guys I'm going to talk about today, he has the least amount of base score autos that have sold on eBay, so it's kind of hard to gauge. They're in that $300 range, maybe like $300 to $350. There's been some that are a lot more. There's been some that are a little less, but very few, very small sample size. But let me tell you, Justin Fields himself is the real deal, and he's coming from a huge Ohio State market to a huge Chicago market. Chicago is the third biggest sports market city. They're excited about their new quarterback. He's coming in with the chip on his shoulder, the swag. There isn't an interview that I've heard that makes me think he's going to be less than great. There's a reason that Chicago fans are excited. And with that big of a sports market and that strong of a fan base, there's a lot of reasons why Justin Fields cards are going to be super solid. A super solid investment, a super solid flip game card. Justin Fields is going to make a big statement in the card world, I believe, based on how he's going to be a highlight reel. Whether he has good games or bad games. I mean, even Lamar's had bad games where he still had Madden-type plays. Justin Fields is going to be that way. So his market is going to be strong. Chicago's market is going to be strong. Justin Fields in Chicago is absolutely worth my money. Absolutely, no doubt about it. They're a playoff-ready team. They made the playoffs last year with Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. You cannot tell me that Justin Fields at some point this year is going to surpass them as an upgrade. And that's absolutely going to happen. Again, we need to taper expectations just a little bit here once we start the season. We can't expect him to look like an all-pro in the first half, right? We want to see him develop. I hope, I think he's probably going to be good enough to start week 1, but I'd like to see him have some restraints in his playing time or at least in the things that they allow him to go do. Let him get his feet wet. Walk before you jog, that kind of idea. But you know what? I don't know. He has that chip on his shoulder. He's come out and said, I want to do everything I can to get that starting job. Seems like he's real serious. Again, huge win for Chicago to land Justin Fields. I'm not a massive fan of the Chicago coaching staff and Nagy and, the offensive coordinator and game management. There's a lot of things that I think are lacking. If I was a quarterback in this draft, Chicago probably wouldn't be at the top of my list. But, when you catch a guy like Justin Fields as late as they did, and you bring him in and he's just starving to get going, hopefully they say, let's go do this your way. Let's go do this, and get the most out of your potential because it is there. Next on the list, if we look at card sales, we're actually going to see Mac Jones. And that might be a surprise to you because I know there's a lot of hate on Mac Jones. He got drafted later as well. But the truth of it is, you're coming from an Alabama market to a Bill Belichick New England market. You think about the rings that have gone through those organizations. There's reason to be excited when they draft a quarterback in the first round. I think no matter who they drafted, it was going to be this way. I'm really big on Mac Jones. You can see in my Mac Jones video that I'm a big fan. I think he's very special in what he can do. I think we need to relax a little bit about some of the worries that people have about Mac Jones. He's a game manager, and he's extremely accurate. So just the fact that you guys lined it up, the Patriots lined it up with having these two great tight ends, awesome for Mac Jones whenever he gets a chance. If you can go get some speed, some playmakers out there on the edge, that's going to be the best asset you can get for Mac Jones other than protecting him. He's going to throw accurate, timely passes. If you can get guys that can take those the distance, Mac Jones is absolutely going to be a fantastic draft pick for you guys. Next on the list is Zach Wilson. Y'all know I love Zach Wilson. I've been following him for a few years. He's an incredible player, guys. Incredible quarterback. He's done it without a line. He's done it without great receivers. He's just athletic, man. He's a runner. He's a passer. He can do it in the pocket, do outside of the pocket. Very accurate down the field. So many reasons to love Zach Wilson. And I'm hoping that New York embraces him this year. Again, low expectations for a rookie year. There's a reason the Jets had the number 2 overall pick. They were terrible. All right, you got a new coach. Some of your defensive players are coming back. You got Zach Wilson some weapons. I'm excited about all of those things. He's still a rookie coming from BYU on a rough team with a tough schedule. Let's give him a year to develop before we turn the New York haters on him, all right? His card right now, score auto going for 250. I think his stuff is going to be super solid in the future. But when I think back to Sam Darnold was good. Sam Darnold was great. Sam Darnold's going to do just fine in Carolina. But to see how, New York kind of turned on Sam Darnold was frustrating because I never felt like he got the full throttle keys to the kingdom kind of situation at quarterback there. And if you're going to have somebody be great, that has to happen. Zach Wilson, way more athletic than Sam Darnold, can do way more physically than Sam Darnold. probably a better deep ball thrower in terms of accuracy than Sam Darnold. Zach Wilson is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait. He was one of my favorite players to watch in college this past year. So yeah, there's reason that his cards are up. I hope that people relax during the season. Again, if you're buying Zach Wilson stuff, it needs to be as an investment as he progresses into shine in this New York market. I hope they don't toss him out too soon. Next up is Trey Lance. In my opinion, Trey Lance absolutely won the entire draft. No doubt about it. Trey Lance went into the best spot that you could go in terms of, what quarterback they were going to take. The third overall pick, that's big money. That's a big money pick. You're going to a team that was in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. You have Kyle Shanahan as your coach. You have Jimmy G as a fantastic mentor who, by the way, was mentored by the greatest of all time. There's a lot to be learned, a lot to fit into with Trey Lance. He's exceptionally talented. If you watched my other videos when I ranked my quarterbacks, I had Trey Lance farther down than most, strictly because we haven't seen him play in a while. And so for him to go to the 49ers, knowing that he's not going to start week 1, knowing that Jimmy G is going to start it out, he's going to show him the ropes, that Jimmy G is willing and excited to do that means everything when we're talking about Trey Lance's career. Trey Lance absolutely walked into the greatest scenario in the draft. The 49ers have weapons. You have a great tight end. It's one of the best things you can have for a young quarterback. You have a staggering defense that, when healthy, can seriously control the game and give any quarterback a chance. Then you have the athleticism of Trey Lance. I'm so excited. I was really against people drafting him so high because, again, just with all the question marks, all the uncertainty. But now that it's done, it's like, man, Trey Lance, I'm happy for you, dude. You went into a fantastic situation, and I can't wait to see you try to make the best of it, and you could be, oh, man, it could be special. Trey Lance, absolute investment, absolutely worth my money. I think I had said in my other video, I'm not going to spend any money on Trey Lance until I see him play in the NFL. Well, just with the situation, I think anybody, if they wouldn't have traded up and you look at all the quarterbacks that were outside of those top 5, anybody that would have gone to San Francisco, I think would have been on my radar. But to get somebody as talented as a runner as Trey Lance put there, to see how Jimmy G has responded into, yes, let's create someone great. Oh my goodness, what a great spot to be in. Absolutely worth my money. Next up, we have Kyle Trask. His score autos are going for about $100, which is a little surprising to me, but also I'm so hyped for Kyle Trask to be in Tampa Bay. If you watch my Kyle Trask video, I said the best case scenario is for Kyle Trask to somehow fall to the last pick in the second round and for Tampa Bay to take him. It's exactly what happened. I felt real strong and smart with all of that. But no, I'm so excited for Kyle Trask. He's going from Gainesville to Tampa. His fan base is still around him. His friends are still, family still, everybody's still, locally supportive for him. He still has that support system. That's always special when that happens. But then he's going to learn from Tom Brady. He's going to join a Super Bowl team. Buccaneers just won the Super Bowl, and they look like they have all the means to try to go for a repeat. He's going to be on that team, learning from the GOAT in those situations. He's going to literally watch Tom Brady lead a team that he just won a Super Bowl with to try to win another one. And just to see the mindset and the leadership that he's going to see in the front row seat as QB2 there in Tampa Bay, excellent. Excellent. I said Trey Lance was the best spot to go. The Buccaneers might have been the second spot to go because we know that Tom Brady isn't playing until he's 100, right? No. Tom Brady, I think he's taking it year by year as he should. He's staying confident as he should. But I think he knows and Tampa Bay knows that it is not too much longer. 4 to 5 years max. You're going to have Kyle Trask for 4 years or more. So to learn and develop, and part of me always wants to know if they're asking Tom Brady, hey, listen, you're our guy. We're going to let you go until the wheels fall off. But we know that's going to happen sometime. Do you see any of these guys that you believe in? I don't know if those conversations happened, but to be sitting in a chair next to Tom Brady, knowing that you could learn from him is an incredible feeling. Congratulations, Kyle Trask, for landing that job. His cards are going to be worth my money for that reason alone. And I can't wait to start grabbing some of his stuff in NFL unis. Last one, Kellen Mond. His cards are only going for $40, so we're seeing a pretty significant drop off now. But I love Kellen Mond. I had him ranked 5th overall in my quarterback rankings. He did some special things at Texas A&M. Make sure you watch my Kellen Mond video. I literally told Andy, I hope he doesn't go to Minnesota because I want to be rooting for Kellen Mond to play. As a lot of you guys know, Kirk Cousins is a good friend of mine, so I'm always rooting for Kirk Cousins. So now I'm like, stay on the bench for a minute now, Kellen Mond. But no, the truth of it is that Kellen Mond is fantastic. For whatever reason, Minnesota likes to blame Kirk for everything. And so I think at some point throughout the season, unless Minnesota goes undefeated, you're going to see people complaining about Kirk, calling for Kellen Mond. Zimmer has never really been a Kirk Cousins supporter. So I fear that there's going to be opportunities thrown Kellen Mond's way at the expense of my guy Kirk Cousins this year. And if history tells us anything in our experience, Minnesota cards get real strong when somebody pops in there for a new opportunity. So Kellen Mond might be a pretty decent short-term investment. If you can pick up some Kellen Mond cards on the cheap, whether that be contenders draft picks or the elite pen pals autographs when those come out, if you can get those on the cheap, I recommend it because there's probably going to be some opportunities. And I'm not willing to say it's my guy Kirk's fault. It's just kind of the way he's been handled there in Minnesota that has not been exciting for me to watch. And some insight into that seems to be that I don't see Kellen Mond going this entire year without getting an opportunity. Ian Book's cards are at like $35, probably strong because of Notre Dame ties. Sam Ehlinger to the Colts, his card is around $30 right now. Colts have a pretty good market, exciting time right now. But that's the Texas faithful getting his cards that high. Then you see, Davis Mills, $25. Texans are a dumpster fire. He didn't exactly blow the doors out at Stanford. So we'll see. And then these other guys, it kind of drops off significantly even from there. So, I'm excited for this year's draft class. That's my take on these quarterbacks and their landing spots. I hope that you invest wisely. Don't be doing anything silly. But there's a lot of money to be made, I think, with this year's football class if you can do it wisely. So good luck to you. I'm excited to be in the same game with you, and I'm sure we'll see each other at some card shows and maybe even the National this year. God bless you.